I'm Jackie, and actually I guess you can call me Miss Cole. I'm from the Extension office, and I have with me my friend Lauren Tedford, Miss Tedford, and she's our Family Consumer Science Extension agent, and I'm the 4-H Extension agent. Have you guys ever heard about 4-H or the 4-H Extension agent? You know what that is?
Who knows? Raise their hand.
Does anybody know?
I hate just saying.
Yeah, this one? That's okay. Well, pretty much what I do is I bring programs like Hatching in the Classroom to kids, and I also help others put on programs for kids so that we can help them learn and grow in the areas that they're interested in. But today I'm going to talk to you guys about chickens. So just to share a few facts with you, chickens are a type of poultry. So poultry are actually considered chickens that are birds that have been actually domesticated, and they are used for either meat, feathers, or for their eggs. So what other birds would be considered poultry? We use them for their meat, their eggs, or their feathers. What other birds do you guys know of that we use for that? What you got, bud?
Duck.
Good, yeah?
Peacock.
Yeah, they can be used for feathers, I think, and I guess some people do eat them. Turkey, that's the other one I was thinking about. So duck, well those roosters are a type of chicken. That's the male chicken. Okay, so we have duck, turkey, and chicken that are our biggest main poultry birds, okay? Y'all gotta keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about chickens. Where do chickens come from? Anybody want to? Good job. Yeah. Okay, so where do eggs come from? Good job. Yeah, y'all got that. I'm proud of y'all. I didn't think y'all would catch on to that, but okay. So who takes care of the eggs on the farm?
Chicken. The farmer.
Close.
The
Close.
chicken.
Close. I'm a little more technical.
The heat. Like the heat that makes it kind of.
No, not quite. Who gives them that heat? Who gives them that heat? The mama hen. The mama hen. Right. Y'all got it? So she can lay up to 250 eggs a year. And in fact, Ohio, the state of Ohio, has the most mama hens laying eggs. They have the largest egg production out of all the states in the United States. So let's talk about the mama hen. How long does she take care of the eggs?
Until they hatch.
That's good, but how many days?
10 weeks.
How many days is 3 weeks?
7.
3 weeks.
10.
3 times 7 is 21. 21 days is how long she takes care of the baby eggs, okay?
Or the farmer instead before he can take care of.
But that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Sometimes they cook them.
Okay, so how exactly does she take care of them?
She sits on them.
She sits on them. She does. So 3 to 5 times a day, though, she has to move them around. So how does she move them around? She kind of does this little squatting thing, and she does a dance, and she shuffles them around like this. And that's how she does it. 3 times, 5 times a day, something like that. So let's talk a little bit more about that. As she's shuffling them, that helps them move around, and that's exactly what the incubator is going to be doing for us. It actually has a self-regulating little mover that you won't even notice that it's moving. But if you check it every hour, you'll see that it's in a different place. That's going to be doing, this little incubator is going to be doing her job for us, so you don't have to worry about that. Some incubators, you have to actually move them for her, but nope, we're going to be doing it with this one, so it'll be really easy. Let's talk about how do the chickens grow in the egg. Can anyone tell me a little bit how they actually develop?
The heat.
Okay, the heat's going to help them.
It turns into yolk and it gets bigger and bigger while it's
Sort of. Okay, so the chickens in the egg are actually a very, very tiny embryo. Okay, and how they develop is they actually get nutrition from the yolk, which is the yellow part you guys know about, and the albumin. And the yolk gives them food. It's pretty much their food. And the albumin is their water. Do you have a question? Oh, okay. You good? All right. So, pretty much for the first 1 to 18 days, they're in the incubating stage, is what they're called, or the setting stage. And then when you get to days 19 through 21, they're going to actually be in what's called the hatching stage. So they're working on hatching. So let's ask a good question. How many of you guys have ever had a baby tooth? That should be everybody. Yeah. everybody. Chickens have beaks, but baby chicks have what's called an egg tooth. And that's literally their little baby tooth. So guess what they do with that?
They pick
out. Yeah. They use that egg tooth to break out of the shell. On day 20, they're actually going to break out of their shell after they find their air cell. The air cell is a compartment of air that's locked in the shell. You know, it's actually in the larger part of the shell. So what they're going to do is find that air pocket, and once they find it, on day 20, their muscles will start moving, and they'll start pecking, and they'll start breaking their way through the shell. So I have with me a little calendar that you guys will be able to look through and see where the babies are. You'll see what's going on that day. So on day 20, you'll know that they're about to start hatching. Okay? What's wrong?
So y'all like the chicks?
Yeah. Pretty much. All right. So how long do you guys think it takes the chicks to peck out of their egg to hatch? And I'm not talking about the 21 days. I'm talking about for them to start hatching. How long do you think it takes? What you got, sister?
Like 1 minute.
No, way longer.
24
24 what?
hours?
Yes, 24 hours. It's going to take them 24 hours. Okay. Now, you need to know that it's not very easy for them to break out of that shell. The shell is made out of calcium. And what is calcium really good for us? It does what to our bones? It makes our bones
stronger.
Yes, okay. So that makes the shell really, really strong. And it makes it really hard for them to get through. So they actually have to take breaks, and they'll have a lot of activity where they're trying to peck through, and then they'll take a break, and 24 hours later, they're pretty much broken out of the shell. Okay? So we have now, okay, let's go through the stages again. First, 1 through 18 days is the setting or the incubating stage. And then we have the hatching stage, which is day 19, 20, and 21 pretty much. And then you go into the brooding stage, which would be days 21 and 22, depending on how long it takes them to actually hatch out. And during the brooding stage, you can actually, depending on the weather, some farmers will want to leave their chicks in the brooder, or sometimes it can be the incubator, or you can actually have another box. But for sure, for you guys, whenever these babies completely hatch out, we're going to have the little turner pulled out, and you're going to want to leave them in there for a whole 24 hours. So they're going to have 24 hours of hatching and 24 hours that they need to stay in the brooder. So you're probably wondering, okay, well, are we not going to give them any food? Well, that's okay, because they actually get enough nourishment from their yolk to last for like 2 to 3 days. So they'll be just fine hanging out in that incubator. But during that brooding stage, it's very important that we leave them in this incubator for another 24 hours, okay? All right, so incubating stage, and then the hatching stage and brooding stage. All right, talked all about that. Okay. So let's talk about how chicks grow from there. How do you think you are when you're officially grown up? I mean, that's really and truly, it's just your own thoughts. How old do you think you are? 17? 18, yeah.
19.
That's when most people leave the home, that's about right. Okay. So chicks, whenever they're fully grown, they're actually 6 to 8 weeks until they're a fully grown chicken. What all do they need to actually grow healthy? Besides their yolk and being in the egg, we're talking about once they've already hatched, what all do they need to grow pretty healthy? What kind of food do chickens eat? Do you guys know?
Chicken food. Chicken feed.
They eat grain.
Corn.
They need grain and they need water to grow and develop. So, let's wrap it up a little bit. Here in 2 weeks, I'm going to come back and we're going to candle the eggs and kind of see how they've developed. Remember I talked about the embryo? We're going to see how well the embryo is growing and make sure that everyone's doing well in there. And I'm actually going to bring with me a brooder box. One besides this is the incubator. I'm going to bring a box. And on day 22, I'll be back, and you will have by then been able to put all the chicks in there, and I'll have brought you some grain the next time I come to visit, so you'll have a little bit of grain, and you'll be able to give them a little bit of water. And so the chicks will be hanging out in there all day on the 22nd day, and then I'll be back to pick them up that afternoon. But So, let's see, what else do I need to remind you guys about? Okay, I need you guys to do just a couple of things within the next couple weeks. I need you to remind your teacher to check the water in the incubator. It's very important that we make sure that there's enough water in here, not too much, about a quarter at the most to an eighth of water. And there's actually, I don't want you guys to lift this up or anything like that, but there's these little pockets in here, and you can fill it up with water, and it's just the right amount. And you want to make sure, though, that that doesn't go empty, because if we don't have enough moisture in there, they can't break away from their shell. They just don't have enough, and they won't develop as well. And it's crazy how much just a little bit of moisture will help. So we got to make sure that our teacher checks the water every day. And then also, this isn't a self-regulating incubator. So you're going to have to check the temperature. It needs to be at 99.5 to 100 every day. So I would check it in the morning, and I would check it in the afternoon before you leave, okay? If it's not at that temperature, they're not going to develop right. And we want to try to make sure that each one of them develops, and that way we can have a good hatching rate. So what's a hatching rate? How many of them actually hatch? Not all of them may hatch, because sometimes that's just how life is. Yeah, that might be right, or something may have gone wrong. You know, that egg just didn't develop. That's just a part of life, and that's a part of chicken's life. So we're going to look at the hatching rate whenever you get through to see how many eggs hatch. I mean, it would be great if we had 100%, but I'm telling you that's highly unlikely. That's just how it is. Even the big hatcheries, they don't get that lucky. So anyways, that's pretty much all I've got to tell you guys. Now, I'm going to let you ask questions, but I need to remind you, questions are sentences that start with who, what, when, where, why, and how. If you don't start your sentence with that question, with those words, it's not a question, okay? Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Does anybody got any questions? Okay, I'm going to get you first. What you got?
How did you get the eggs?
I actually went to Pilgrim's Pride in Pittsburgh, Texas, and they donated the eggs to us. And they're fertile eggs, which means that the mama hen has been around a rooster, and so we're actually going to get babies. And that's the difference between the eggs that you buy at the grocery store. In fact, the eggs at the grocery store aren't fertile. You know, mama hen can lay eggs that aren't fertile, and we can, you know, that's the eggs that we eat. The ones that are fertile are the ones that actually grow babies. Y'all get that? Mm-hmm. Okay, what you got, bud? Was it you that had a question?
Yeah, Tate.
What's up, Tate? Okay. Anybody else? What's up?
When will we see the chicks and feathers?
Okay, that'll be about day, yeah, you can on day 22. Day 22, you guys are going to come into class, and they're going to all be hatched out, and you'll be able to pull them out of this incubator. Okay, and you'll be able to put them in their brooder box that I'll bring to you in a couple weeks when we candle. So, and I've got this little calendar here, and on day 21, at the end of day 20, you might see them start hatching. And if you can pay attention, and yes, they're going to move a little bit, the ones that you see start hatching, you might even be able to move them on day 21 over to the brooder box. But you want to be real careful to make sure. And if you're not sure, just leave them in there, that's fine, okay? But day 22, day 22, which I don't even have marked as 22, but the 11th of April, that's when I'm going to come back in the afternoon, but y'all get to see them all day, and you'll actually see them feather. Now, let me tell you, these guys build feathers really quickly. They're going to come out looking kind of funny, but I'm telling you, 12 hours later, they're going to have feathers. They grow really quickly. I mean, you think about it, it takes you guys, you think like 18 years to grow up. It takes them 6 to 8 weeks to grow up. So, you know, they develop really quickly. And I mean, 21 days in the egg, that's pretty fast. So you know, you can kind of compare that to us being in our mother's womb, and we're in our mother's womb for 9 months. They're in their mother's womb, or the egg underneath their mother, for 21 days. Isn't that kind of neat? Okay. What other questions do we have? Oh, did you have one back there? What's up?